Greetings, hi, TheWarOwl greets you, and welcome to WarOwl Answers Questions number 3, our third installment of the series where you send in questions via email. I look at them and answer them here in a cheap vlog that takes about 10 minutes to produce. I even have the note right here. It says, do another cheap vlog. At the top it says to do an owl vision for exist at round 9. Yes, that's my handwriting. I have trouble reading it as well. Since we're showing the process and writing things for apparently no reason since nobody asked about it, here's a clipboard with all the scenes that I needed to get for my latest Inferno video that I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I write it all out and plan it like that. Question number 1. Aside from Counter-Strike, are you a fan of tactical shooters in general? And if so, what tactical shooter in particular do you enjoy? The answer is no, I don't. Once you play Counter-Strike, you can't play anything else. The smooth movement mechanics, the nade physics, the teamwork, the coordination, the spray control, everything, it just feels so smooth. Just moving the mouse across the screen is like butter. I can't play any other tactical shooters, but I do enjoy other games, obviously. I play a bunch of other games. The games that I enjoy playing are very skill-based games or competitive games that have a high score table or some kind of multiplayer. That's kind of the stuff that I have fun with. Like, why are you gonna play a game and just go along on a rail and listen to a story? What's the point of that? If you want a good story, go watch a television show or a movie or something. I'm not saying that the story cannot sort of help the gameplay mechanics, sort of insinuate the gameplay mechanics. Like, for example, Portal. Portal is probably a great game for that because it has a great story behind it, very funny, well written. I had the thrill of playing Portal for the first time without knowing anything about it, no spoilers or anything, so I had a great time going through there. And it was at its core, it's a puzzle game, and it's a good puzzle game, it has great mechanics, it feels good when you play it, and then you have this story on top of it, and the story is sort of just another layer to the game. So I play games that are games that have some kind of a challenge to them. Are you a dog or a cat person? Well, I've said it in my stream before, I am 100% a dog person. I love dogs. They're loyal, they're friendly, optimistic, they're always happy to see you. You can do things with them. You can go jogging with them. They keep you active because of how active they are. They're friendly, happy, nice. Dogs are the best. Dogs are the best, man. Cats, I may be a little bit biased on the cat scenario because I grew up in a household where my father and my brother were deathly allergic to cats. So as I grew up, I gained the mentality of cats are evil. But when I look at it objectively, I don't really understand cats. I don't get them. Because, like, why do people like cats? It feels like a sort of like an apathetic roommate that doesn't even care about you, that is ambivalent to your existence, eats your food, sleeps in your house, and pays you no mind. Like, don't you want a pet you can have fun with? Did you go to a university, and if so, what did you study? I went to North Carolina State University, and I majored in computer science, so I have a BS in computer science. How I came about getting that is an interesting story. So, when I was younger, and I was in high school, in that sort of age range, I was not very ambitious. I was a bad kid, pretty much, and I didn't really have any plans of going to college or anything. I know the whole underachieving stereotype, but I hate it, but yeah, I fell into that. I was working as a janitor, so that should give you some perspective of where I was. And as I was applying for colleges, I didn't really want to. I just picked one college, North Carolina State University, because my brother was going there, and said, I'll just apply to it, whatever, and see what happens. And I was filling out the application and sitting there in my room living with my parents. My father came in and said, "Son, we must leave in 20 minutes, for we have a tea time to play the golf." Well, my father doesn't speak like that. I don't know why I did that. I guess it's just like a general dad voice, whatever. "Son, I'm proud of you." Anyway, Dad was like, "Let's go, let's get out of here, we got things to do." I was like, "No, Dad, I gotta pick my major." It was the last thing I had to fill out. It was just like, pick what do you want to major in? And he came over, he looked at the list for a few seconds and just put his finger on the screen like, "I want that one. It says computer science. You like computers, pick that one." So I was like, yeah, whatever. Picked computer science. My dad was like, "You can change it later, don't worry about it." So I picked computer science, went into the system, and you couldn't change it later. So I graduated with a degree in computer science, worked in the industry for a number of years, and finally decided, you know what, this is not really what I want to do. I want to be a loser and make YouTube videos. What do you think about the hostage mode in Counter-Strike, and do you think that it's competitively viable? Well, The hostage mode is interesting. I love the changes that Valve has made to it by making you have to only rescue one hostage and you have to pick them up and carry them. That makes it a little bit more competitive and makes sense, but I think the map design, it doesn't lend itself to competitiveness because they're very sided. Every single map is T-sided. Look at Assault. How are you supposed to get in there? Look at Office. You can stand in one spot and watch all the different ways that the terrorists can come from on that map. So I think if some effort was put into making a map that was designed to be competitive, the hostages and where they could spawn would be spread out a little bit, and it'd feel a little bit more like the demolition mode, or not the, whatever you call it, the defusal mode. And I think it could work, but I also don't think that the Counter-Strike community would ever play hostage rescue mode as a competitive thing. The competitive community is historically very set in their ways. They don't like things to be different. So I don't see them adopting a brand new game mode anytime soon. But I think for the larger Counter-Strike community, people outside of that very small competitive sphere, I could see that happening if the maps were designed better. Let's get this question out of the way. I noticed you've made a few Lord of the Rings references. If you were one of the members of the Fellowship, who would you be? That is a very interesting question. Now, I liked Lord of the Rings. I read the books when I was younger. I don't remember them as well. What really stuck with me was the cinematic adaptation by Peter Jackson, the trilogy. Those are some great movies. I very much enjoyed them, so a lot of the references I make are directly from those movies. So as to which character I would be in the Fellowship, I don't think that somebody can really clarify that for themselves. Like, I can't look at myself objectively. Everybody has some sense of ego. So I think that's really up to you guys inside of the chat. Write down whether you think I would lend my axe, whether you think I would lend my sword, my bow, my staff, or my hairy little hobbit feet. And don't just pick hobbit or dwarf because I'm short. That's offensive. Anyway, yeah, I don't think that I could objectively say which one I was. That's up to you guys. What is your opinion on DE Dust 2 being overplayed? Now, that is an interesting question. Thank you very much for asking it. Dust 2, I think we can all agree is overplayed. Now, that's a term it may be a little bit difficult to ascribe to it, because is it overplayed or is it just that good of a map? Dust 2, in my opinion, is the best competitive multiplayer map of all time for any game, for any shooter. DE Dust 2 is just immaculately designed. I love it so much. The angles, the positions, it all feels smooth, and we've played it for so long. We've played it for over a decade. I think people play Dust 2 so much because it's familiar, because it feels like home. When you go try to play some of the other maps, you may be a little bit confused about some of the positions. You'll get taken out. Everybody knows Dust 2. Everybody plays it constantly. It's so well designed, and that's the reason people started playing it in the first place and sort of adapted it as the map to play in Counter-Strike. So I don't know if you would say it's overplayed. It would be nice if people sort of expanded their palette and played a little bit more. To me, it reminds me of people who eat and sort of get in the habit of eating the same types of foods instead of, like, if I'm always eating Italian food, I'm never gonna sort of branch out and experience other tastes. However, if I go out and try some Indian food or Chinese food or like German food or just anything like that, just expand your palate a bit and you'll find it's a little bit more exciting, it's a little bit more fun, you can experience more. So it'd be nice if people played more than just Dust 2, but I don't think that's going to change, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for people who want to play other stuff, because everybody goes to Dust 2. But again, it's comfortable, it's safe, people enjoy it. Why do you look like Orson Welles? Well, I don't see that. Well, damn. I think it's time finally to come clean. I think it's time finally to let you in on a little secret. I am Orson Welles. I am an immortal. I've been around for many years. I have made a number of different references to this fact inside of my videos as of late. Hey, look, talking about movies helps. How about that Citizen Kane? Dang it. Okay, we got so far that time. That was Pentagon level stuff. Let's go. It's also clear by my editing and camera angles, this sort of experimental style that I take, the perfection of cinema, that clearly I am Orson Welles. Huzzah! Oh, his head done gone boom! Will you join a professional CSGO team? The answer is no, for a number of reasons. Like, one, I'm not good enough. I would have to devote a ton of time to playing the game, to playing with a team, to growing those relationships, to getting a reputation in that community. All of that stuff leading up to it. And I'm just too old to start that now. I would have to have started that like 6 years ago. And I don't have the experience or anything to just join a professional team. I'm surprised I'm asked this question so much, because I'm not a professional player. I don't know why that mentality exists. But anyway, I really enjoy Counter-Strike, and I do want to be involved in it in some way. In the community, content production, that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, is making the YouTube videos for helping out newer players and getting them into the game, to try and inform and entertain at the same time. And I'm having a great time with it. I don't see myself, I don't think I have the time to devote to practicing every day, all the time, to get to that level. And it's too late, guys. My biological clock is clicking. That was a ridiculously stupid verbal mistake, and I think I'm going to keep it in there just because the first part was so perfect, so we're not editing that out. The end of the video is just going to be me screwing up and saying, like, what the heck was that? That was stupid. What are you, some kind of stupid person? Thank you folks very much for watching. I am TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer.